Tonight's headlines: PM presents recalibrated 2016 budget. And Kedah MACC detains senior university lecturer for alleged embezzlement. Hello there, you're tuned into 7 Edition this evening with me, Natasha Hussain. Now, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak has unveiled a recalibrated 2016 budget to optimise government spending while ensuring that the well-being of the people remain a priority. 11 restructuring measures and adjustments to this year's budget were announced, which is expected to save 9 billion ringgit in operating and development expenditure, as announced in October 2015. Now, these measures include giving a special tax relief of 2,000 ringgit to taxpayers earning below 8,000 ringgit, reducing the employees' contribution to the Employees Provident Fund by 3%, houses priced up to 300,000 ringgit to be limited to first-time house buyers only, and the government will be more prudent in spending, particularly on supplies and services. In his speech, Datuk Seri Najib said the recalibration is necessary due to a slump in global oil prices and a slower economic growth in the United States and China. In October last year, the government had announced an allocation of 267.2 billion ringgit for Budget 2016, of which operating expenditure amounted to 215 billion ringgit, while development expenditure amounted to 49 billion ringgit. When Budget 2016 was unveiled in Parliament last October, the crude oil price was at $48 per barrel, but recently plummeted to $31. The ringgit too has depreciated by 11.3% against the US dollar, from 3.77 in June last year to 4.25 on January 27th.
Demi menggalas amanah sebagai ketua kerajaan yang bertanggungjawab bersama timbalan Perdana Menteri dan barisan jemaah menteri, maka hari ini kita mengambil tindakan proaktif untuk membuat pengumuman bagi melaksanakan langkah-langkah pengubahsuaian terhadap bajet 2016. Sesungguhnya inisiatif ini adalah amat penting untuk memastikan pertumbuhan ekonomi yang mampan dan lebih utama melindungi kebajikan rakyat. Saya pasti bersama-sama kita akan berjaya mengharungi sekali lagi cabaran ekonomi ini. Seperti mana situasi tahun lalu, sekali lagi saya mau tegaskan bahawa dengan izin Allah jua, negara ini tidak dan bukannya berada dalam kegawatan ekonomi. We are not in recession, nor are we in a technical recession. Itu paradigma yang mesti ataupun keadaan yang mesti difahami oleh kita. Malah dengan berkat usaha dan doa kita bersama, mudah-mudahan pertumbuhan ekonomi domestik akan terus kekal kokoh dan berdaya tahan serta mampu menghadapi ketidaktentuan ekonomi global.
Despite the challenges ahead, the Premier stressed that the well-being of the rakyat will continue to be prioritised.
Misalnya, program pemberian BRIM dan bantuan kebajikan akan terus dilaksanakan. Di sini juga saya tegaskan bahawa kerajaan akan mengekalkan kadar GST seperti sedia ada. Selain itu, kerajaan akan meneruskan langkah perbelanjaan berhemat dengan mengutamakan program dan projek yang berimpak tinggi berpaksikan falsafah people economy.
The 2016 budget recalibration will also not involve the emoluments of civil servants and pensions of retirees, as well as the delivery mechanism of the government. According to the Premier, the government will not terminate the services of any civil servants, including those appointed on a contract basis. Furthermore, the government will continue the implementation of one annual increment for civil servants on July 1st this year, as promised in the 2016 budget. Datuk Seri Najib also touched on the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, TPPA, which was passed by Parliament yesterday after a two-day debate. He provided assurances that with the signing of the Free Trade Agreement, there would be no compromise on the country's sovereignty. The Bumiputra agenda also remains intact and is no longer a national agenda, but instead it has now been elevated and recognized globally. Under the 2016 budget recalibration, the government would provide a special tax relief of 2,000 ringgit to individual taxpayers with a monthly income of 8,000 ringgit and below for the year of assessment 2015. And to increase private consumption, employees' contribution to the Employees' Provident Fund will be reduced by 3%. Datuk Seri Najib said the tax relief will benefit some 2 million taxpayers with savings of up to 475 ringgit each, while the government would forego revenue of 350 million ringgit.
Kerajaan bersetuju untuk mengurangkan potongan caruman KWSP pekerja sebanyak 3% mulai Mac 2016 hingga Disember 2017. Walau bagaimanapun, caruman majikan dikekalkan. Langkah ini dijangka meningkatkan perbelanjaan penggunaan swasta sehingga 8 bilion ringgit setahun. Sebagai Menteri Kewangan,
the Premier said the reduction in EPF contribution is expected to increase private consumption expenditure by 8 billion ringgit a year. The Premier also announced that the government will fix the sale of all houses up to 300,000 ringgit to be restricted to first house owners only. The new measure will take effect immediately on all new housing projects. In addition, the government would carry out the Integrated House Ownership Expo Tour, which offers more than 100,000 ringgit housing units.
Selain itu, bagi projek perumahan rakyat yang berharga RM35,000, sukacita saya umumkan kerajaan menerusi Bank Simpanan Nasional dan Bank Rakyat bermula 1 Mac 2016 akan menawarkan pakej pembiayaan pada kadar 4% dengan dana yang disediakan oleh kerajaan sebanyak 400 juta ringgit.
Datuk Seri Najib said that this initiative will benefit more than 10,000 house owners. To bring down the cost of daily basic necessities for the rakyat, the government will temporarily liberalize the import quotas or approve permits in 8 agricultural produce to ensure constant supply. The produce includes raw coffee beans, buffalo meat, beef and mutton. Datuk Seri Najib also said that Pharma will establish My Farm outlets that sell agricultural produce directly at prices between 5 to 20% below market prices.
Ketiga, dalam memastikan rakyat menikmati harga barangan yang berpatutan, saya telah mengarahkan KBDNKK untuk mengenal pasti lebih banyak kedai-kedai jualan harga berpatutan seperti hypermarket. Jumlah kedai harga patut akan ditingkatkan daripada 640 buah kepada 1,000 kedai kesemuanya pada tahun ini.
For the hardcore poor, the government will introduce the My Beras program. Under this program, every registered hardcore poor household will be supplied with 20 kilograms of rice every month until December 2016. Meanwhile, 4 Public Service Department or JPA sponsorship programs for 2016 will continue. The 4 programs encompass the National Scholarship Program for the top 200 SPM students, a special engineering program for 200 students to study in Japan, Korea, Germany and France, a bursary graduate program for students to pursue undergraduate studies locally, and the new intake of 8,000 students to be awarded scholarships to pursue undergraduate studies in the country. Datuk Seri Najib also gave his assurance that the government remains committed on the education and future of Malaysians.
Seterusnya, peruntukan pembiayaan PTPTN sebanyak 5 bilion ringgit akan terus disalurkan kepada para mahasiswa.
To intensify investment in human capital, Datuk Seri Najib said the My Brain 15 academic training scheme for Bumiputra and academic training scheme of public higher education institutions programs will be continued. Currently, 25,000 students are pursuing studies under these programs. The government has also agreed to the increase of 15,000 new students for the My Master program, 5,000 for My PhD, and 300 for SLAI, involving an additional allocation of 100 million ringgit. Now, the government will also implement a rehiring and relocation program to give opportunities for illegal immigrants to be given valid work permits. Datuk Seri Najib said this is to fulfill industry demand and enable the government to ascertain the number of illegals in the country for the purpose of monitoring security.
Di atas cadangan yang dibuat oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Timbalan Perdana Menteri selaku pengurusi jawatankuasa Kabinet Pekerja Asing, kerajaan akan terus memperkemaskan sistem pengurusan pekerja asing di mana kadar levy hanya akan diklusterkan kepada 2 kategori saja. Ini tidak termasuk kategori pembantu rumah asing.
He added, consistent with the last 2016 budget announcement, the 30% levy contribution from the Human Resources Development Fund, totaling 200 million ringgit, would be provided to raise workers' competency and skills. This would be implemented through reskill and upskill initiatives, including for workers who had been laid off. Now, the Election Commission is expecting its budget for this upcoming Sarawak state election to be slashed by between 10 and 15%. Its new chairman, Datuk Seri Hashim Abdullah, said the budget needs to be renegotiated following the revision to Budget 2016.
Perlu kita rundingkan, terutamanya bajet-bajet yang melibatkan besar perbelanjaan dia. Pagi ni saja Datuk SU mengadakan rundingan kembali dengan syarikat-syarikat yang nak membekalkan perkakasan untuk pilihan raya. Jadi kita panggil untuk rundingan semula dan minta supaya diturunkan, tetapi tidak melemahkan perkhidmatan yang diberikan kepada kita.
He also said the Commission will discuss with the Finance Ministry to ensure it has enough funds to carry out the election for Malaysia's biggest state. This is because the EC needs to deploy assets such as helicopters to reach its rural and isolated areas. The initial budget for the 11th Sarawak election was estimated to cost 181 million ringgit. Now, tourists from China will not require a visa to visit Malaysia between March 1st and December 31st this year in a bid to boost the local tourism industry. The Premier said promotion of domestic tourism will also be intensified through organising sales of integrated domestic holiday packages.
Sukacita saya umumkan bahawa pelancong dari negara China tidak memerlukan visa untuk ke Malaysia. 31 Disember 2016 tertakluk kepada syarat-syarat tertentu bagi tempoh lawatan tidak melebihi 15 hari.
It was reported that Malaysia aims to draw 8 million tourists from China annually over the next 5 years, with 22.1 billion ringgit spending power. This is compared to the 1.3 million Chinese tourists who visit Malaysia annually. After the break, an in-depth analysis on the budget recalibration. Stay with us. Don't go away.